Well, Senator, thank you once more for inviting me. Quite frankly, when I heard on the issue of unity schools, especially around Abuja, the capital, it was very, very depressing. This security situation has become a complete worrisome situation for everybody concerned. I feel the government, federal government should do more. For me, I've said it repeatedly that if I have the opportunity, we will deal with the situation head on. There's so many things that we need to put in place, which I might not be able to disclose openly in order to ensure that we secure the country. It is critical. It is the number one thing that anybody needs to do if you want to still call this country a country that people should say they are proud of to be citizen of. First is that I talked about the issue of pulling people out of poverty. And the more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce the criminality. It's critical, it's important. As long as the economy continues to head south, like we're seeing today, your criminality will be rising. Further to that, you need to put in place other measures, ensure that you have proper manpower and proper equipment. There's so many other things that I've been able to learn, and if applied, we will be able to tackle it. And most importantly, the political will to deal with it decisively. But there are not things I intend to disclose in an open interview like this. But I assure you that it will be decisive and immediate.
Let me ask a follow up on that. And my concern would be when you said that it will be decisive. Um, a lot of things, as far as buying equipment is concerned, procurement in that sense are not usually something that could be immediate. When you make policy decisions, also as with lawmaking to reform the way and manner we fight security. For example, assuming you're looking at the area of state police, that will take some time. So those ones may not be immediate. But could it be an idea of allowing other countries that have successfully fought this kind of guerrilla warfare to help our nation? So some will say there is no harm in asking for help. Would you be seeking the help of the so-called bigger nation in terms of military manpower and the technical know-how in fighting this kind of terrorism?
We will do everything that is possible.
Getting
Everything that is possible.
Including getting other countries that want to help us.
Including you mentioned issue of state security. I've said it repeatedly that if I have the opportunity, every state will be responsible for her own security. I'll make sure that the governors are given the powers to secure their state. Even if we have other police there, they will be responsible and reporting to the governor. Additionally, the state will be allowed to have their own security system if they need be. We must secure Nigeria. We will do every other thing that is possible, which I'm not ready to disclose here, but it is one of those things. As I go around learning what to do, security is on top of my list. And I assure you that what we're going to do will be decisive. Most importantly, I will do so hands-on.
Would it also include hiring mercenaries? Some governors in the northern region of the country have said we could use the help of mercenaries. Do you think that this is a viable option.
What I want to disclose now and share, what I said is that I can assure you that every option will be on the table. But I'm not ready to disclose my options now because it's a security issue. I'm not there yet, but I assure you that it will be, like I said, decisive and immediate.
All right, then. Let's move to some other issue. We'll get to talk about, we'll mix things up. We'll talk about policy, we'll talk about governance, and we'll talk about politics as well. Um, Let me ask you this. Vice President Atiku Abubakar said, you did not tell him before leaving the PDP. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. Let me tell you, Shehu, Vice President Atiku remains my respected elder brother. And his comment is true. When I left the PDP, I did not tell him and other respected people in my life, including my family. There's a time in your life that you take a decision which you consider appropriate for your own future, that you just have to do it because you don't want people to talk you out of it. And this I did to the best interest of my future and the best interest of Nigeria. Because that when I left PDP, I did say, I'd rather do the right thing and fail than do the wrong thing and succeed. And that's what I did. I, I did took that decision in consideration that it does not in any way inconvenience or affect any other person except me.
So on a normal day, would you have, apart from the fact that you didn't want anybody to talk you out of your decision of moving away from the PDP, on a normal day, would you have spoken with him? Would you have seek his audience, perhaps ask for his permission or advice before leaving the PDP?
Not really. That's why respectfully, after 1 or 2 days taking that decision, I elucidated it in a written message to him saying I had to go because of the circumstances I found myself and where I found myself and what was happening to me and what I think is appropriate to do. And I know, knowing him, he respected my decision. And like I said, it remains my very respected elder brother.
Now, let's get some clarity in some of the things that you have done. There are accusations of how you got a ticket. Um, since you and I are speaking on this program for the first time after then, can you tell Nigerians and come clean to them about the process in which you got a ticket? Some people have raised a question mark about it. Perhaps some people even accuse you of buying your way through to get to the ticket. But I know the kind of person you are. You could clarify to us whether or not this is true.
So, we have the freest primary in Labour. Remember, the frontliner in Labour Party was Professor Pat Tommy, who, before every delegate in that election primary resigned and said that he's stepping down since he has found that a younger person, more energetic, competent, has the capacity, is coming on board. It was an open primary monitored by NG-Mech, and the participation was free, fair, and credible. Everybody can tell you. And you know me. Of course, if you buy something or you paid money, there's no way you do money transaction in Nigeria that people won't know. And I'm not one of those who do that.
I'm very sure you must have heard what the kind of the stories telling about you that Obi will not pay anything. There are those even who said that one of the reasons that you left was that you were not ready to pay delegates. And but those who said, no, that is hypocritical actually because they are accusing you of actually paying some money. Did Obi pay anything? Because those who believe that Obi will not pay anything.
Well, I think we moved on. There's more political issues in Nigeria now. I'm not a candidate. I've assured you I didn't pay anything to be where I am today. And I'm not a candidate, and I'm happy where I am. And we're not talking about there's so many issues that are happening in the country today that we need to deal with.
Let's make reference also to what former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also said about you. He said it will be a miracle for you to win the presidential election. How would you react to this?
Well, so miracle is at the root of our faith. What strengthens our faith is miracle. For me, since I started this political journey, my achievements and records have all been miracles. Have all been miracles. If you check, I ran for governor in a party that was less than 1 year old when I started in 2003. I won the election. They declared somebody else. I went to court. Everybody said it's impossible. There's no way. It's never happened before. After 3 years, the court declared me the winner. I was sworn in. 6 months, I was impeached alongside Fayoshe and Darie. I went to court. Again, I became the first governor to come back for impeachment. So I was the first governor to win through the court, first to come back from impeachment. And then in 2007, about 1 year in office, I then conducted the election, and Andrew won. I was sworn in as governor. I went to court again to seek the interpretation of our constitution that my tenure is 4 years. Everybody said it will never happen. Again, the Supreme Court declared me the winner, which is why you have staggered the election in various states today. So I became the first governor to seek interpretation of the constitution on tenure of the governor. I became the first governor. In Anambra State, over a period of 40 years, from Jimbo days in old Anambra State, I was the first governor to serve 2 tenures. I can go on and on and on and tell you so many things that have happened in this my journey that one can say is a miracle. And I'm looking forward to the next miracle next year to complete the miraculous journey of my political life.
So again, Mr. Atiku Abubakar also said that your popularity is only on social media, that 90% of the northern voters are not on social media. Do you think that his position is a true picture of the state of Nigeria's politics, and how would this affect your chances?
Well, I agree with him what he said. It's one of the problems we are going to solve after my miraculous emergence to deal with the issue of educating those, if it's true that 90% that are not on social media, what you need is to, I was saying I was going to invest in education. We need to educate them. We need to ensure that they equip them, because the population is mentioned is actually the teeming population we need. When I say the North, the vast land of the North is our next oil, this is the population that I need. to be able to turn that asset into production. They are the assets that need for the factories. Processing factories are going to be located in Kaduna and Kanu to be able to produce those agricultural products, to process them for export. So, yes, we'll deal with it, but I'll show you that we're not just on social media. People are also listening to us and they know we have something to offer. And I'm sure that's what he wants to do as well. These are people we all need to educate and help.
So one big question here is the win. There was a huge win of support beyond your cell, especially that of your party, towards the Osun governorship election. And Obedience were very vocal. I call it Obedience is as your supporters. That is what they are being tagged. In and out of social media, you could hear that huge support for Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Only if that could materialize to the kind of vote your party could have garnered at that election. How come your party did not perform well in that election? That support did not materialize. Why?
So there was no good support in Osun as we were going into that election. Let us be realistic. What you saying that people are obedient, Osun election and Ekiti election is an election that has been planned months. I've been in the Labour Party less than 6 weeks. The candidates that emerged months before I even got involved. The elections were all there and everything. So there was no way that would have translated overnight. 2023 election is totally different. I remember election these days, people are now voting for candidates, for the persons involved. I have been to Ekiti, for example, before the election, and campaigned for the PDP candidate. I have been to Osun before, when I was an aspirant in PDP, and campaigned for the PDP candidate. So those elections cannot be used to compare for anything. And there was, yes, I went there because we are participating in that election, and in fulfillment of our obligations, we were there. But to say that it would have my popularity would have translated overnight would have been not fair to us.
So again, maybe I should leave Atiku Abubakar out, but he made some very. It does look like there were lots on his mind to say about you leaving the PDP, and perhaps maybe he had in mind for you to be his running mate. That may not happen again. But is there a possibility of working with you if the chance arises? For those who say this election might in fact go into a runoff, if there is a possibility to align forces with Atiku Abubakar, would you take that chance?
So nobody goes into a match thinking of what will happen at the end of everybody's going there to win. I'm going into this contest to win. I'm going into this contest to be the next president of Nigeria. So thinking about what will happen is, I don't know how nobody considers that into a match when you're saying it might be a draw. You're going into it to win. I'm going into this election to win, and then I think I have all it takes to win.
Now, for someone who has worked with Atiku Abubakar, and you perhaps you have an idea of a Bola Tinubu, you have an idea of a Kwankwan, so you've been in the same party before, and a few other Omoyele Sowore, and a few others like that. You are in the race this time around in your name as a principal. You are not. You do not have a principal. You are your own principal now. What is your instinct telling you? that Peter Obi might be the next president of Nigeria, if that is what your mind is telling you think that you have what it takes to beat an Atiku Abubakar or Bola Tinubu at the general elections?
Well, for me, I wish I will not even dwell or comment about what they are thinking. My concentration is how to solve the problem of Nigeria, how to start pulling Nigeria out of the problems, pulling Nigerians out of poverty, creating jobs for our teeming youth who are desirous of being part of changing the world, not thinking about what other people are thinking. They have what they want to do for Nigeria. But my commitment is how do we start turning around this country? There's so many issues now that we're into. Say, as you can see, we're collapsing by the day. Do you know what it means to shut down government-owned school in in the capital? That means we're not safe anywhere any longer. This should be a preoccupation of those of us who are contesting, not about other issues.
Mr. Peter Obi, we need to take a breather now. We need to take a traditional break on the program. But when we come back, we'll try to learn from your experience what you took out of Egypt when you took the tour to learn about the electricity transformation. Of course, we'll also try to understand what is on your mind when you heard about the debt servicing figures in the 2022 budget. What would you do differently? What figures are you projecting to take the GDP, the interest rates, the inflation? How will you drive all of these indices, perhaps in a positive way, should you be elected president? These are some of the issues we'd like to take you on. The conversation with Mr. Peter will continue. His game plan ahead of the 2023 election. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.